Hi, Dr. Torbati. This is Heather Wolfe. I got my hat on. I'm ready to go today. I wanted to provide you an opportunity of seeing what my lessons are. So, in my first day activity, instead of going over syllabus or anything like that, I really want to set the tone about understanding growth mindset. I want to, about self care, about self talk. So, my first activity is to give them a welcome prompt. Says, tell me a time when you failed at something. How was it a failure? How did you know? How did it make you feel? And then my next activity for students is this PowerPoint that I made, and I did share this, and I will give you the document. But I love this there's this story, and it's really cool. This little girl is in art class. She refuses to do anything, and the teacher says, "Hey, listen, make me something." And so she slams her pens down. She makes this dot, and the teacher says, "Well, sign it." So next day, the teacher puts this dot in this beautiful frame, and so the kid comes in and is like, I can make a way better dot than that. And she gets this dot out on all her art supplies, and she starts making dots, lots of dots, big dots, little dots, and dots without dots. And so one day she has an art gallery, and this little boy comes up to her, and he's like, "Wow, you're a great artist. I wish I was good as you." And he goes, "But I can't draw." And she goes, "Well, why don't you make a line?" And then she tells him to sign it. I think it's a great opportunity to talk about growth mindset and fixed mindsets, and what's the difference, why does frustration and success, and learning about some grit and all those things, because I want them to have that growth mindset in math class, and knowing that we're going to talk a lot about mistakes. And this is a cute little snippet from Meet the Robinsons. This little boy he's an engineer, and he designed something, and he totally is awful. And they talked to him and like, this failure was great. And they explained to him that, through failure, you learn. And it's about, praising the process, not always about the outcome. And then this was a cute little Calvin and Hobbes little image that I have. So my objective for them for the day is to finish up with using growth mindset, explaining to me how LeBron James was not always LeBron. And the goal for me is for them to understand that, we're all LeBrons. It's just he was committed to keep going and to keep working and learning and learn from the failures and go through that process. So that's the first thing I really want them to learn in a math class is to, it's not failure, it's a learning opportunity. So activity 2, 3, and 4 are really different for me because I think this weekend was really big for me in how I want to lead with love. And I don't want a lesson plan. I really want something that's continual so that they see that this is important, and how I talk to myself and all those other things. So I'm inventing this thing, and I've kind of researched a little bit. It's called Fist of Five. So a lot of times when we say, "Hey, do you understand? Where are you?" Right? And or did I explain that correctly? So really quickly, I'm not really sure. I didn't understand anything. 1, 2, I'm not sure. 3, 4, I got it. And then 5 is I got it, move on. And so through that opportunity, I'm gonna go away here for a second. You're gonna see what's on my iPad. Let's say I gave these notes for my slope review, right? And I'm just giving these notes. I might stop here for myself and then say to my students, how well did I explain this concept, right? Not very well, 1, 2, and it's going to give me feedback. But if I see a lot of 3s, I might say to myself, it's me being in charge of the self-talk and helping them grow. Of okay, so if I'm a 3, what part didn't I understand? Okay, so if the teacher didn't tell me this part right, like it's more of an ownership of me kind of guiding them through. The other part that I want to get feedback from by helping them with the self-talk is this next item. So in math class, we do lots of different problems, right? And I might say to a student, okay, I'm going to give you these as an example, or I might give them this as a note, or I might give them this as some type of, I don't know, a little activity or a closure activity or something. And I always put numbers next to it, right? And then I kind of pull the class and I go, okay, well, were you a 1? Were you 2? Were you 3? Where did we disagree? Where did we stop? Where did we deviate from? And sometimes kids, I lose them at 2 because they did step 4 first, which is great, which is, I might say that to a student. But if I lose you in step 3, I go, okay, well, I might not have taught this well, so I'm going to go over this topic again. Or I might say, hey, I think I might have made a mistake. If I lost you in step 3, I might have made my mistake by doing something else. It was the right idea. It was the right concept. It's just we need to do this instead of that. That was a great thought. And it allows me, this is going to sound weird, it allows me to control the self-talk a little bit to guide them through it. So that's activity number 2. But I want this to be a continual thing, that I'm constantly helping them guide themselves. The other thing is that I thought was really powerful was when they talked about, not hijacking the amygdala and setting that tone and helping kids without them knowing it, engaging their directors. So I know what is not my strong suit. So I do want to meet my students at the door. So I found this, I know this is going to sound crazy, but to set the tone and try to, put that amygdala at rest, I found some positive affirmations to be able to greet kids at the door. I know it's not a strength of mine. I love kids. I love seeing them all the time, but I need to make a conscious effort of making those positive thoughts and affirmations and setting that tone so that that amygdala doesn't get hijacked. So for me, I know this might sound weird, but my ongoing activity is to try to set that tone for myself. It's not embedded into a lesson plan. It's before the lesson even starts, but I think it has so much value that I would be remiss to not force myself to make that essential. I mean, there's no other way. So the other activity is I teach a lot of freshmen, and I can tell them how to study. I can go over the process. I can do some of those things, but I'm not sure if I want to do it before or after. But the self-talk video that you provided, I think, is amazing. And it was about the positive self-talk, and I want to explain and go over that with them. How to talk themselves through a test, how to go over those things for themselves, and really help themselves through the process of that self-talk. But always that first test is an opportunity for them, and they're not sure because middle school, sometimes they don't have to study, sometimes they do. It's the first test is always a struggle, and to me, it's not a failure, it's a learning opportunity. And I want to help them through that. And then once we go through that self-talk, and then maybe have not like a retest or to me, another opportunity, and to help them provide that positive feedback is essential. So I made you this video. These are my 4 lessons. I will attach everything, but I thought you might enjoy the YouTube video. So thanks.